Guys, welcome back. It is May 29th. I'm going to review some of the 0-day option trades I did today on SPY. Yeah, finally some price action, not just a crazy liquidity build grind. On the 30-minute, we're kind of pushing up against the resistance in the longer time frame. Here's Eric at SPY Day Trading's 30-minute chart. Link for his Discord in the description. But yeah, gapped up this morning on news, and then just kind of still finding this resistance. So longer time frame, we're in a larger wedge, just a lot of liquidity being built here. So not expecting anything crazy until we move out of this area or break out of that wedge. So anyways, showed up today. I was a little bit late again. Been busy these mornings. Let's see, I showed up about 10 o'clock, somewhere in here. So maybe missed one little trade here, a little head and shoulders, but nonetheless, charted this white, strong, bullish channel, and then this gold bearish selling channel, and then went with purple on this less aggressive selling channel, and then put in a magenta one for this potential for a bearish control. So bears want it to come up so they can sell it at a higher price, and that's what this potentially would be. And so yeah, so as the day progressed on, I just kind of let it chop and do its thing until I saw a move. Tried to identify a wedge to try not to trade in it. I didn't have white in here, I didn't have blue, just purple, and then these steeper ones, and then red, or this magenta I guess I did have. Yeah, put that in there, yeah. So basically, with this one and done and like full port and the small account, it's kind of tricky because I guess, yeah, sometimes I'll jump in and then I realize, okay, it wants to build more liquidity or retest this higher spot, and I want to just stop out so I can get back in. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm opening my trades right at the stops, which is good, but then I have such a tight stop that I'm just stopping it right away, and I don't know. You'll understand it here when I tell you where I took this trade. So yeah, basically a nice liquidity here. Came up and retested VWAP. I'm not like just looking for VWAP type trades, but did retest VWAP. Came down, broke this red. I got in actually a little early. Let me see. 11:14 I got puts. So where was that? Yeah, okay. So I wasn't early. I didn't jump in here, just wicked. I like to wait for candles to close. So I was grabbing this shoulder here on this shoulder, and then made a little mini head and shoulder. So here's your head and your shoulder. Made a little mini on the break of that red. So I got in on, let's see, 14. Yeah, so I got in at the very beginning of this candle right here for this mini head and shoulders and larger one, and it breaking this magenta channel here. And then also, okay, so that's right. So this was the purple was the support on that side. Put it up here for the very top, and it broke out of that, which almost got me bullish, but yeah, it was just too early for me to be looking at that because I didn't have enough stuff figured out and seen where there was a wedge, and this wasn't a nice structure to go to the upside yet for this being inverse head and that at the shoulder. So anyways, I didn't take that, but I did continue to duplicate it on the outside. So took it here, and then the problem is at that point I had not charted in or identified this green one that's gonna come in till later. At least I didn't see it till later. As well as, yeah, pretty much the green. So anyways, came down and I sold one on the same candle, same minute, try not to be greedy. So it was 113 to 126. I'll just show you here really quick. And yeah, so I don't know, 10%, whatever that was. Small, but a pretty big red candle with some volume. I'm gonna take profits, or green, whichever way I'm going. And sure enough, there was another channel down here, which I had not identified that one yet. So to me, I was thinking this is the last one, this red one. We've broken it and we're out of all the wedges. Here we go. But yeah. So Eric, it's by day trading. He did have a a less aggressive wedge and channel there, which I don't look at his chart. I try not to look at any charts during the day just because I think it messes me up. But in this case, it might have helped me. So here's Eric's on the 1 minute for the day. So he did have this one in here already, given he was charting since 9:30 and I just popped in at 10 something. So if I'd seen that, then I maybe wouldn't have been so aggressive of taking puts there, seeing that we're still in this wedge. So the next one I held, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't know at what point. Yeah, then I charted this green, and then I'm like, that's what I'm gonna wait for my stop. So it's a ways up there, and I hope it doesn't actually climb all the way up there, but that realistically would be my stop. So on number 2, I held through all of this. I don't even know what I was down. I didn't look at the number because that doesn't help anything. So didn't look at what I was down, and yeah, held, and then I'm thinking, well, if it does actually reject here, this is gonna be a great entry for puts because this is my stop right here. So on the big account, I actually jumped into puts right here. I'll just share this one trade I did on the bigger account just because it was a sick one. I had some red ones too, some small reds, but this was the one that basically got me to get up and leave because I was happy, pleased, ready for a break. 11:29, so I had to get into puts on that candle actually before even that big red. Yeah, on that one, just because it was hitting my green perfectly as resistance, and we saw this head and shoulders and potentially another mini head and shoulders. That shoulder here, head here, it already broken the red. Yeah, so at that point I hadn't charted this, so the safer play if I had charted this would have been right here on that break, grabbing that shoulder, and your move down is not as much there, but yeah, you don't know because this, given when this isn't a wedge, it can just sit up here on the top of your resistance and doesn't have to necessarily break to the downside. It might break to the upside. So this was a trade opening where I basically want my stops. So big account, I opened up 3 there, SPX, got them for 390. I shared some screenshots on my Discord. You guys can jump on there if you want to see them. I think it was, I'll have to look up the percentage. It was 390, and my best exit on it was 1980. So whatever percentage that is. I'll probably have it as on the thumbnail or something. And then I still have my small account, my one contract left that, so pleased I didn't sell it, but I'm also like, this is what sucks about this one and done, because this is the whole port right here, and I very much wanted to just close it here, but I'm like, well, this could still work out, and so yeah, that's my whole thought process going into there. My first sell, well, I guess my last sell on the little account was at 11:35. If you saw it when I showed you that history. So wanted low of day. Okay, I sold here. So basically right after the first green candle, I just dumped it right there. So happy with that. That was 113. I bought it forward to 138. So yeah, happy with that. And if I had another one, I definitely would have held through it, given I wanted low of day and then bottom of green and potentially bottom of purple, and then 5 days down here also, which it perfectly touched. 5-day moving average, but I only had 2 of them, so that was what I got. On the big account, that's why I was able to get 390 to 1900, 1980. So I showed you where, let's see, okay. I'll just show you where I sold my, so I sold my first one on the big account at 11:31, so it's pretty quick to jump out of it right here, because at that point I think I charted this white, and once I hit the bottom of that white, like I could still sit in this wedge, so sold the first one right around there. That was for 520, so 390, 520. Next one was 680 at 335. So yeah, same time I sold it on the small account right here. So that better entry was so nice because I was 100% on that second close. Oh, that's right. I wasn't going to share this, but all right, little bonus. 1157, I actually got more puts on the big account. Right there. So as it broke that white. Same white here, just duplicated. Had a nice little head, little shoulder, grabbed it, broke it. So literally close to low a day. Same deal, volume kicked in, and yeah, I got 3 more there. So that one was for, let's see, where's that? Okay, that was for 460. Well, the first one for 710 at 1157. So on that same candle, later on that candle, it flushed down to my profit target, which was this first green one. This green line just did it in a few seconds. And then the second one was at for 920. I was at 1157. Oh, I sold 2 right then. Oh, wow. Okay, so I sold the first one, I guess, a little bit earlier. I was getting crappy fills on Fidelity this morning. I don't know, like, I'd market order, and I'd check what I got it for, and it was like 12% down, and it hadn't gone anywhere. I'm like, what's going on? It was very ugly. I don't know if the spreads were just wide on SPX or what, but... yeah, the first one was at 1157.43. The second one was at 1157.57, so 10 seconds later, it was 200 more bucks. And then the third one was at 1159. So yeah, right here on this first green candle, I just closed it out. So fully closed out of the big one, and that was sick. I was up good, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna chill. I proceeded to overtrade with the big account, and the small account. Yeah, I guess I was out earlier before that. But yeah, set alarms for breaking out of the wedge, walked away, did other stuff, worked on the computer for a while, didn't look at it. It helps not to even look at it. I'm pretty sure, like, oftentimes I'll just kind of look at it, even though I'll say I'm not going to trade it, I'm going to wait for it to break out or break one of these wedges, but to actually not even have it up is helpful. It's kind of like I thought about driving. It's so difficult to rest, to sleep while someone else is driving, at least for me. But when I'm driving, I'm like, I can go to sleep super easy. I don't actually know how that would work. Yeah, I guess I don't know how that relates, but it just made me think of that for some reason. But it's hard not to look at the road when you're on the road. But if I'm not looking at the road, not paying attention, it's just much easier to sleep. Same thing here. Like, it just kind of keeps your brain going and makes you want to trade, and something about these candles. So just not even looking at it, walking away if you need to, but no charts of candles, and then just waiting. So I'll throw all this. I didn't trade. This triggered my alert right here, breaking this white. So I had a white trigger and then a green right up here. So at that point I had identified, I guess, I thought everything at that point. But yeah, so this triggered. I didn't grab it right away because by the time I got to it, Fidelity's super slow. It was like, maybe it'll give me a little bounce and retest. It didn't, and then I was looking at someone else's chart, and theirs had an even weaker selling channel, which I had not seen, but it actually broke theirs too. So there's just a break and yeah, without structure and a false continuation. So that happened. That's why I have stops. If I did take it right on my break, it would have been a green, but yeah, so I put the white channel back down here again for it to break, and look, it actually held that for the rest of the day. It's crazy looking. So I took it here, I took it somewhere in here, because I was looking at someone else's chart, and it broke theirs down here, so proceeded to get kind of whipsawed. Then I actually got back into calls, because if it's at the bottom of a wedge, I'll go back in for calls. Since it's at somewhat of an inflection point, it's not going to break out, it's going to retrace. And so I did actually catch this trade. I'm not going to go over all of them, but just kind of by memory. And then I got whipsawed in here. This was a problem because green was the most flat bearish channel I had at that point, and it broke out of it. There wasn't a nice structure. I mean, you could say this was inverse head and shoulder. And that's kind of what I was thinking. It broke out of it. No little microstructure like we got here or here. And so I was in calls, and then it rejected, and then I'm in puts. I'm like, oh, this is the top. It's just doing a little false break, and then I'm in call, and I whipsawed too much in here. I need to just step back. Then we had some news, and kind of got whipsawed in here a little bit, and then I'm like, all right, I'm giving away plenty of profits. I need to stop this, stop the madness. And actually, I got back into calls and caught some of this. Had a couple other green trades in there, but in this whole area, my accuracy went down significantly, mostly because I had not identified this blue channel, which that's why it's blue, because I haven't put a color on it yet. But if I'd seen that, I would have seen, oh, there's a much larger wedge here that we're still in. So I would have waited for the bottom of white to go long or the top of blue to go short. But instead, I was just whipsawing through here like a madman. So that happens. Still green, I think, pretty big on the big account, and green on the small account. So feels good. Confident feels good. Need to sort out. I want to open stuff at my stops, but yeah, a little tricky. It's fine. Yeah, it's kind of just like open at your stop. If you're red in the first 5 seconds, then day's over. Thanks for watching, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down. Have a fun 6th round. See you tomorrow. Peace out.